Financial Clinic this morning, and we are so elated today to discuss a very important topic in our lives, which is inevitable for each one of us, and that is retirement planning. And so today I'm being joined in studio by an expert on matters finances, matters retirement, and we shall be discussing that, as we also will be joined later by Mr. Abel Munda, who will be joining us on how a retiree goes on to deal with issues or planning of their retirement. So with me in studio this morning, I have a guest who will be able to introduce himself to us, Mr. Kevin. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so
Karibu
much.
sana.
Asante.
Yeah, maybe you can just start by telling us a little brief about yourself, and then we delve into our conversation of the day.
First of all, thank you for having me today.
Karibu sana.
My name is Kevin Shitsukane. I'm one of the financial experts and financial advisors in one of the well-doing insurance companies in Eastern and Central Africa.
Okay.
Yes, besides that, I'm also a minister of the gospel. I'm a husband of one.
Wow.
I'm born again.
Okay.
Oh,
Karibu
yes.
sana.
Thank
That's
you so
awesome.
much. Asante.
So let's get it rolling. Now, what is retirement planning for those people who may not be aware of it or even just don't think it's important? What is retirement planning?
Awesome. Basically, retirement planning is foreseeing the future and beginning to plan into it today. This is now matters financial and building liquidity early.
Okay.
So that you are not caught up by issues, you're not caught up by surprises, because in life uncertainties do happen.
They do.
And at that particular instance, you need now to have planned yourself so that you cushion yourself instead. I mean, in case where you are required to drive off-road, at that particular instance, do you have a buffer for it?
Okay.
So that is basically retirement planning.
I like that. You're required to drive off-road.
Off-road.
Okay, so what I'm here and I'm required to drive off-road maybe.
Yes.
As I sit, from where I sit, I see that. But now what are some of the strategies I may use just to be able to get through this off-road and get there safely?
There are many instances where you need now to consider. One of them is, of course, be realistic to yourself.
Realistic.
Exactly where are you at? At that particular point, you need to notice that money requires planning, because money in many instances, you'll notice that it is busy trying to run away from you. But then you need to find a way where now you are able to now shield it or grow it. Because money is not for spending. Money is for growing.
For growing.
Because if you don't grow that money, then it will begin to grow wings and want to run away into the pocket of the one, of the one now who is trying to manage it, because wealth is very jealous.
Okay.
So how to build into that particular moment is that now you need financial planning.
Financial planning. That's where you come in.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
And so now, this money, I have it, and you're saying it has grown wings, or I have not even given the money some names. I hear you have to give them names so that I know this is for this is for that.
Yes.
But what are some of the common mistakes that, you know, as people we make and therefore sabotage our own planning into retirement?
You find people sometimes, I found one of the most common mistake that many people do.
Yes.
We've made those mistakes at many times. You realize that I feel there is still time. I'll plan tomorrow.
Procrastination.
Procrastination is one of the most cancerous diseases.
Is it?
In the purposes of now growth creation or wealth creation. At that point, you notice that now when I feel I'll start to think about it tomorrow. Okay. Then number two is working out of your budget. That I feel I can go out of my budget and then because there is an income that is coming at the end of the month. Okay. So I would rather borrow today and spend. So you're already spending ahead of what is coming in. So living also above your means. Those are also one of the major mistakes that people do make. And then they find themselves now, they are operating now on a spare wheel tire called, in fact, it's a deflated spare wheel tire.
Yes, the donut,
called overdraft.
That looks like a donut.
Exactly. So it's another mistake.
Yeah.
The other one is considering people into your circle that don't matter. In this case, you are spending what you have to please people who don't love you.
Whoa, okay.
So you have gone out of your way. In this case, now you are busy trying to configure your reputation among the people that are not actually going to reputably recognize you. And at that point, you realize that sometimes you find, by the way, if you want to know real people's color,
yes,
deny them your pocket. Don't show them where your wallet is. Then see the true picture of that person. You'll begin to realize there are certain people that will begin to walk away from your life. Yet, in the previous state, you have been spending on them.
Yeah.
So there are certain people or circle of friends you have been keeping around you because your pocket is talking.
Yeah.
But now when your real self is emerging, at that particular point, then you will know who is true.
And they'll start calling you names, stingy.
You're stingy now. Yeah, nobody sees your money, or your money does not see the sun.
Yeah.
They are beginning now to call you names and describe you in a certain way.
Yeah.
That guy, before you see his money.
And before you are helping.
Yes,
them,
and before that time, you are even helping them, even supporting school fees for their children.
Yeah.
But then try to pretend you are broke. Then you'll know the real person.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. And by doing all that, then you end up sabotaging
So you end up sabotaging your pocket. And another thing is now you are now on a survival mode. There's another risk now at that instance that people have made into now, I've gone now into buying into things I don't want, you see? So spending on things you don't need, necessities, the things that are not necessities.
The wants and not the needs.
The ones that are not your needs.
Yes.
And you're busy pumping money into it, and then you realize later, oh my goodness, I didn't take care of basic needs.
Yeah.
Or I didn't take care of the dream I had. And at that time, you are left with very little dollars. So at that time, you realize you have made a big mistake. Before you know it, for you to recover at that time, you are way back gone. So for you to now return to the shield, at that time, you will need then to outsource.
You've talked something that I've picked about, being surrounded by people. And, just trying to please them. And I think that speaks a lot about the youth, maybe a majority of them. So for these young people, the Gen Z who is now, that's a common name nowadays. So what advice would you give our young people who are now just starting off, into building themselves? Because retirement is actually inevitable for each one of us. So what advice would you have for these young people?
I usually tell people most times, money is anything you call it. And one of the things that I would advise anybody, starting with even our Gen Zs, our Gen Z in the house, is that begin to have what you call financial literacy. Have financial literacy. In this case, indeed, you need to know what is actually money, because these are lessons we are not taught in school. However much you go for the CPF or financial management classes, talk of maybe even development finance, go to all those courses. The language, the reality of money language is actually taught by reality of life. And you need then, in that state, you need to deploy a manpower that is able to now open you up to what is now financial knowledge, financial literacy. Another thing is you need to develop discipline at the inception. From the moment when money began to come in, what is your discipline? What is your risk appetite? What is your spending module?
Wow.
You see? So at that point, imagine it is now then going to very fast push you to 3 states. Maybe you need to know you are already moving with active income.
Yeah.
Now, it is out of that active income you need to build two states. Number one, you need to build what we call a portfolio income.
Okay.
And then another one you need to build is what you call passive income. Those are now going to be now your shield at the time when it is too rainy.
Portfolio income.
Exactly.
Just speak a little bit about it.
With portfolio income, is a state where now you have developed a discipline with yourself, such that then out of the money you have been earning or you are actively earning, you are not going to spend everything party after party, or maybe they call nowadays Subaru days. So for you not to go into the state of Subaru, or maybe going to just drive off and just enjoy some pizza moments, the question is, before you spend, how much have you saved? How much have you invested? Because the joy of spending is actually not out of the abundance of what you have. The joy of spending comes when you know that what I had, I have already saved and invested. So by the time you are spending this money, you are actually trying to say, they call it in Swahili, kupigia mwili pole. But then as you are pigiering mwili pole, you have something that is already speaking on your behalf. So out of it, that's the time now we begin to advise, begin to build your portfolio income. In this case, out of your active income, now divide your income. Out of it, do some needs analysis. And then out of it, do a percentage of it, place aside at least 20% of your active income. Now, that one begins to help you build a portfolio income. Portfolio income is something you are setting aside for future use, for future reference, for future growth. Because let me tell you, money is tempting. And money is sweet. At any time it is actively with your hand, at that particular point, it is actually telling you, spend me now. I'm willing and ready to be used. And then it wants to color your life, you see. There is a nice dress that is coming up. There is a nice suit right over there. There is maybe you want to buy into birthday. You want to please a relative. You want to please some friends, which is good. But then, can you set aside a portfolio income which goes to be your 20% out of what you're earning? Then it will begin to help you generate some revenue. You see? Then go to now passive income. So having built now the portfolio income, you now know what you're expecting at the end of the day.
And this is across the board for, excuse me, for both the young and the old.
The young and the old. This cuts across. Because money does not know the young and the old.
No, it doesn't.
Provided it's in the pocket, now you're the one to give it a name.
To control it.
So it is in your power. And that power is on the reference, on the strength of now the know-how, the knowledge you got. Exactly.
Now, we have these young people who, of late, I think you've also heard that someone, even at 35, they want to retire. 40, you know. So it meaning that retirement is not about the age anymore.
No more.
So now, what advice would you have? Like, is it better to retire early or to have long working years? Which one is better as you go into retirement?
At that instance, by the way, I would actually say it is important to retire early. I was hearing of a story. There is a young girl from India. That girl, I was here the other time when I was here, I was sharing with a friend of mine. And then at that time, I told them, do you know there is a girl in India who retired at age 16?
Wow.
So I asked...
16?
16. And at that time, she had about an asset base of $52 billion, which then brought her to a place where she had almost 180 employees.
Wow.
Including the best expertise in engineering and whatever. So I then asked, how old are you at that particular time? And you're still actively working, you see? So if you are driving busy on the road called active income. That's where you find people on the roads, they are hooting at one another because I'm getting late to work, because my boss will now deduct my pay on that day.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Why? Because there was time maybe it was neglected when the presentation opportunity was availed. This particular individual did not take time to start thinking from the day you got employed or hired. Someone said there is fire that used to come into that company even before you are hired. But then be careful, because there is still fire that is going to come down for growing the company even after you are fired. You see that? So immediately you have been appointed or confirmed appointed.
Yes.
You can see some many things that are going on in the country. So anytime something can happen, actually those are good lessons we need to pick from those moments. Relating with what is happening today in the nation, it tells you anything can happen to anybody who is actively hired. So can you begin to think early that what is my retirement package and how much can that be? Now, when you begin to think about it, think alongside the line of how much is enough when I'm not actively working. And then the other question is to ask yourself, if I'm not actively working, what is working for me actively? When I'm not actually relying, or in fact, this is a good question I would ask or pose over to good people out here.
Yes.
If your active income or what you're doing today to provide bread on the table, school fees for children, and maybe the lifestyle you've maintained now, if that particular active income is disrupted, how long can you survive?
How long can you survive without having
the active pay? Without expecting the pay slip being sent on your email that this is how much that came in. You see? So that is an opener, an eye opener for you to think alongside the line that out of what I'm earning now, I need to start building my retirement package very early.
I love that.
Exactly.
I love that. And I hope our young people are listening to us, you know, because these are insights that really, this is on a consultancy basis, that they're getting it here for free on Family TV and Family Radio. Now, so Kevin, sometimes you also, you know, as now you've gone on your retirement, of course, there's some benefits that you get. Would you, like, from your own opinion as an expert, would you like advise for someone to, we go the lump sum way, or we just go the monthly, you know, like you're paid your monthly pension as you retire? Which one? Because you can be given the lump sum and you find in 3 months someone has blown it off.
Yes.
Or you've risked and put it in an investment that goes down. What advice do you have for, you know, something like that, a situation like that?
In such situations, I advise not so much go lump sum way, much as that is important, but there is what you call the law of diversification. Okay. You need to diversify your wealth. Okay. Okay. They used to say, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Just a wonderful brother who is riding the speed bike may appear and just push one arm and the thing topples off and you're gone. Not gone as a person, but the eggs in your hand, they are on. They have fallen off. So for you to recover that, it's a big thing. So it means you need to come to a place where you balance what you call, have the consciousness of risk management. Whilst you're diversifying what you do. Because the diversification is actually the cornerstone of financial planning, so that at any given time, whether it is rainy or it's a dry season, you are still stable. You still have a cruise on the road.
So this money is not for, they say, kujibamba. No. You have to plan for it.
You need to plan for
your
it.
Future, you know.
So you need to know how to diversify your wealth. Take a portion, put in XYZ. For instance, maybe begin to think alongside the line of investing in life insurance. Okay. That will help you both to generate revenue, and at the same time, it will also help you to do what you call risk management. And then consider something to do with like real estate, you see. Consider another place of maybe entrepreneurship of any kind you want to venture in. Do you have another stream? Even, okay, they say even in the Garden of Eden, we had 4 streams of income.
Yes.
No, I mean, I call them that way, but there were 4 rivers, you see. One of them was the river Euphrates, where it was now considering the place of agriculture. So, and minerals were coming in and everything like that. So then, in everyone's life, at least be challenged to have at least 4 streams of income to your life.
Okay.
So that you are not caught off. By the time you hear some people saying the month is in a corner, they use it in another language, you see. Mwezi iko kwa corner. So when the mwezi is in the corner, what else can now push you and pump you up? And maybe at the time when the month is in a corner somewhere, that time an opportunity has just come up. Someone is selling maybe a property somewhere at a very throwaway price. All they are looking for is maybe for just a few coins to go and pay for their medical bills, for instance. Or maybe there is a child who has been invited to a university. And at that time, it is very urgent for them. So what do you do at that particular instance? You needed diversification to know then that I put this money here, I put this one here, I put this one here, in 3 classes for that matter.
Because without that, then it means you'll get into debts, isn't it?
You'll get into debt, and bad debt for that matter, you see. So you need to now know how to create 3 different accounts for yourself. The first account you need to make is the emergency account. Yes. Which is now sometimes an active account. Other versions sometimes call it a current account, where now you can immediately just put your hand and collect the monies and you're good to go. But then there is another instance where you need now to know a mid-term income goal. Now, all these accounts, actually, you're creating them having set them on a goal. Because if you don't fix them with a goal, at that time, you will spend on a wrong reason the money that is in a different account. So this account is actually asking you, why did you collect my money without my permission? Because the reason as to why you are collecting that money from that particular account was not actually the reason spent for. So you need to take now an active account, an income goal account, then do a mid-term goal account, and then do a long-term goal account. For that matter, it will help you now to spread your wealth. Once you spread your wealth, now your portfolio is stable, then come back to yourself. Once you come back to yourself, now you are looking, where is else a leakage, where my money may be having a nozzle to release another air that I have not permitted myself. Because there are times you find you're spending money unconsciously. Maybe because your money is in M-Shwari or M-Pesa, and someone just calls you immediately, my brother or my sister, I'm just stranded. I need your 10K, I'll return tomorrow morning. And this is Saturday evening, and they will tell you they will return on Sunday morning. Now, at that time, because you love them and you care for them, you are a giver. At that time, you have the cash in your phone. Or the money is connected to you, wired to your account, your bank. Direct. So what you'll do is just pull it. When are you sure you'll return tomorrow? Sometimes you'll not even ask that question. And it's like, I promise you by 9 a.m. in the morning, I'm going to return the cash. That turns out to be now a bad debt, and anytime now you begin to remember of that brother or sister, you'll not remember their name first. Much as their image comes in your mind, what you remember is my money. Your money. Because money is emotional. So always diversify your cash.
I love that. Diversification.
Yes.
Now, there's a question, and that question is in regard to, you know, you're here and then you're not permanently employed. We're talking of, you know, the people who are in formal employment and informal. So someone is asking, you're in an informal kind of setup, you know, in terms of work. What advice do you have for them to be able at least to also secure their future, their retirement, as much as they're in the informal sector?
All right. That I'll answer like this. There is nobody under the sun that is not making money either way.
Yeah.
And there is nobody under the sun that is not spending money. So the fact that you woke up in the morning, immediately you switched on the lights, you began spending.
Yes.
Because token is going.
The bill, yeah.
The bills are counting.
Yes, bills are counting.
You step out of the door, you're already spending. So whether you are in an informal sector or in a formal sector,
right,
you are either way using money, and you need money. Now, money, sometimes it is never enough. Okay? And that's why now, is it okay I can quote a verse?
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Yes.
In Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 10, it talks about when now you are pursuing money so hard, the money is never enough, so it might run away.
Okay.
It will hide itself. Now, you'll be tested with the little you have. Even our own Lord Jesus, he gave an analogy. I think in Matthew chapter, is it 25 from verse 14, where he was referring the kingdom of God, how it looks like. At that time, he says it's like a man who went the far country, but before he left, he left the three guys talents.
Yes.
1 5, another one 2, another one 1. But then there is one who multiplied the 5. The other one multiplied the 2.
But the one came
and
back
the
with
one
his
with the one kept it, and that's what they say, the poor will get poorer, the rich will get richer.
Yeah.
So it is not about actually how much you earn. And it's not about now hiding behind the place of now informal or formal. No. It is all about your mindset, your mentality.
Mindset,
when it comes to now money language. How do you view yourself concerning that? In fact, if you are in any of the setups, it is now your responsibility to begin now creating your quantum leap.
Okay.
Because at the point where you're working, it is actually a stepping stone.
Yeah.
Whether you are informal or in a formal setting, you are actually standing on a place where you need to make a decision. And the decision you'll make is the one that will determine how far is far. Okay? Because you will never actually have enough at that time. And whether you are earning little or much, whether you are in that state of formal or informal, because sometimes when someone is in either of the setups, they feel like they are kuonewa.
So it's kuonewa, and also, you know, there's this statement, aki wakona bahati, matajiri wakona bahati. It's not about bahati. It's about planning.
You see, and all this, it is actually, everything is all about planning. Number 2, budget tracking. So do you have a budgeting plan? Or you just do anything at any time? You see, provided money is around, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my goodness. So someone was, they shared something online. There was is it a monkey or something like that? And then this monkey was just, it came across a balloon. And they were like, this is how salaries of many people are looking like. And then the monkey wanted to just, it wanted to hold the balloon, and the balloon just disappeared in the air.
That's how your salary goes.
Another time, they said the monkey was holding a banana, and then he just peeled it off, and now it wants just to bite it. It was standing at the river bank. And then the banana just fell into the river. Now, it doesn't know how to swim at that time. It only knows how to climb a tree. So if then all you have at that time is only to make money and not strategizing, that's where the problem is.
Okay.
So have a state where you can strategize. Besides diversifying, now come to the place of strategic planning.
Yes.
That is the
So
deal.
you plan, you budget, you save for your retirement.
And save
That's
into
the
that
future.
retirement.
Absolutely amazing. And continue talking to us on our SMS line, which is 20316. WhatsApp number is 0786 316 316. And we are now have been joined by the MD, MTC Trust Company, Mr. Abel Munda. Karibu sana, Mr. Munda, to our conversation today on retirement planning. And I think you'll just briefly give us a background of your professional line.
Okay, thank you, Sally.
Karibu.
So I am an accountant by profession. I trained as an accountant, then I started off as a junior accountant, grew through the ranks until finance manager. Then I became the managing director for Liberty Life. a position I held for 15 years. Then I retired last year. March was my last month. Then shortly after retirement, I got invited for another job.
Wow.
And so I thought I had energy. I still had enough energy to go on. So I took up the position. And now I'm the MD for MTC Trust.
Oh, fantastic.
Which is a trust company. We have about 9 product lines. So trust, there's family trust for wealth succession. It's actually the best way to do wealth succession to posterity. Then we also have retirement benefit schemes trust. So we are trustees for retirement benefit schemes. Again, corporate trust is the best way to go for retirement benefit schemes because you then don't have to worry about individual trustees retiring or being terminated or resigning. So there's a lot of volatility and changes if you have individual trustees. So corporate trustees is there, it's perpetual.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying the job. We have other security trust products that we carry out with the banks. If a bank should have multiple or let's say syndicated loans, then there's a role for a corporate trustee. We do that as well.
Lovely.
And even ESOPs. We also administer ESOPs for those companies that wish to give shares to their employees.
So now I'm already excited because we're already talking about retirement benefit schemes and we're here talking about retirement planning. And of course, you know, I can see you are on that line already. But based on your back, in terms of you had already retired, right? I'm sure you had an experience of, for 15 years you are at the top, at the helm of Liberty Kenya, and then this day you've retired. How was it like for you immediately after your retirement?
Yeah, immediately after my retirement, actually it was quite amazing because I thought, for example, I would just be sleeping until whenever I want to wake up. I found that was not possible because my biological timing was to be getting up at 5 in the morning. So I continued waking up at 5. And then, of course, I would go to the gym because now I wasn't going to work. I would then go to the gym and then just carry out some daily routines, maybe meeting up with friends, sorting out my own personal issues that I had actually kept in abeyance when I was still working. And so those 5 months that I took off, because this other job I took it after 5 months. So those 5 months that I took off, I would just literally sort out my own things and maybe at my own pace. So I was living a more relaxed life, less pressure. But yeah, if I had gone longer than that, I don't know what I would have done. But obviously, in my retirement, my intention was actually to take life a bit slow, enjoy, maybe visit areas I've never visited, if I had enough money. So money is the key, and cash flow is the key.
I love that because Kevin, you had talked about, you know, cash flow and all that, and about planning for your retirement. And because you had talked about a few tips, which includes what Abel is talking about, money. You talked about saving and all that. I just want to go back to Abel and know, how had you prepared yourself for retirement? I mean, prior to, because it was inevitable and you saw it coming. Had you prepared for it, and how did you do it?
Yes, I had prepared for it, and I can share how I done it. Of course, they always say money is never enough, but I always want to tell young people, particularly people getting into employment now, start saving for your retirement. The moment you start working, start saving for your retirement. I know Gen Zs and the younger people always think, and I thought about, by the way, I thought the same way when I started employment, that retirement was so far away, I didn't even want to think about it. But the good thing is, when you are working in formal employment, there is a forced savings. No, most of the companies have retirement schemes and they force you to save, and then the company matches. But I always want to advise people, for you to get into a comfortable retirement, you need to save more. What your company is saving for you is not going to be enough. So if you still have a room for the tax allowable savings, then make use of that room. But even if that room is not there, just put some little extra. When you get your salary increase every year, put a little extra. Because what really helped me is I pegged my standard of living at a certain level. Then I said, each year that I get a salary increase, that money will go directly into savings. So I will not increase my standard of living simply because I'm getting a salary raise. So that kind of a control, and you know the money is taken at payroll level.
Yes.
So it goes before you see it. So it is some kind of a forced savings.
Yeah.
So that's what I used to do, and I found that helped me a lot, because then you are able to enjoy the power of compounding.
Fantastic, fantastic. So
Yeah.
saving, and even with these savings, Kevin, then there is inflation.
Yes.
You're saving, you're going into retirement, but then there's inflation. How do you mitigate the risks of, first, what is the impact of inflation on your retirement planning and savings, and then how do you mitigate the risks?
At any given instance, by the way, someone or everybody should anticipate the place of economic downturn. And in fact, there are two animals that are always after your money.
Yeah.
And for that matter, your value for your money, or the value of your money. The first one is actually inflation, and the other one is actually tax man, the taxation. Those guys, they actually collect your money before you handle it. So the big question is, what am I doing to counter it and to legally live above them? You see?
Okay.
So inflation is actually, whether you are aware or not, the consciousness is come to the state where you know inflation is actually eating into your money.
Okay.
And the taxation is also eating into your money. So then what you do to live above that is that find a way where you put your money that gives you returns that are higher than the tax percentage and inflation percentage.
So that's an investment strategy.
That is an investment strategy now.
And I want to know from Abel, did you have any of that with you as you're planning your retirement, the investment strategies?
Yeah, you must have, Sally. You must have an investment strategy, because I was saying, besides the money, or in addition to the money that you are saving at the company level in terms of the retirement benefit schemes, you as a person must have a personal investment strategy. So your investment could include real estate, which should give you rental income, but there are also other instruments in the market. You could get into, let's say, treasury securities, treasury bonds. You can also get into treasury bills. Ordinarily, they tend to have good returns, but in life, sometimes there are some, what I would call aberration, whereby the rates you are earning could be actually lower than the inflation. We've seen that in this market. But you really need to, you must try as much as possible to put money in investments that would beat inflation over time. To that extent,
what are some of the examples of those investments?
Yes, for example, real estate will keep its value.
Great.
Because it will continue to increase in value most of the times. But the good thing about it is, if you are getting rental income, at times of, let's say when the inflation goes up, you are able to increase the rent. So you renew your leases, and then rent goes up. So you are cushioned against inflation. And likewise, the value of land, the way I've seen it, or just property in general, it's always on an upward trajectory. Because we are a young nation, we have a rising population. So with the population growth and a little bit of economic growth, people have the power of the demand goes higher. And so with increasing population and the ability to pay for rent, people will always occupy your homes. But there are always risks. With any investment, there are always risks. So you need to choose carefully where you are going to invest, which part of the city or which part of the country. You need to choose carefully. Otherwise, most of the times you find occupancy is quite good. So diversification is key, however. You cannot put all your eggs in one basket.
I love that, because it's like, you know, you've just picked exactly from where I was talking about diversification and eggs in one basket. I love that. And no, you know, human beings are social beings. Impact of social capital as you plan your retirement, is it there? Is it positive? Is it negative?
It is very important. In fact, we usually say, it's even in the Bible, use money or use unrighteous mammon to make friends. Because at the state of retirement, actually, it's like you have gone to just up there. And up there is very lonely. Yeah. So if you didn't build social capital at the days when you are working, you will then realize that it is very easy to stay in a state where you're all by yourself. The first place actually I tell people is build social capital with your own family first. Because if all you're doing is actively going out to work very early, by 6 a.m. you're already in the office, and then by 9 p.m. is when you're coming back home, your family is already tired and you are asleep. Of course, I'm talking to those now who are already engaged in that sector. But then as a Gen Z or a young person, maybe you are already on your way on that. Either way, you'll find yourself there. Okay. You see? At that particular time, you need to build not just social capital, but quality. Quality social capital. Quality social capital.
I go to Abel. Yes. Abel, did your social capital have any impact on you? As you know, even the short period that you are on retirement, did they have any impact on?
A lot of it. Yeah. And social capital is critical, Sally. You need social capital. You need social network. You need people you can get along with, just sometimes meet up and talk about, you know, crazy things and just laugh. Because it's actually therapeutic. You cannot be a loner. You cannot be afford to be a loner. So over time, at least for me, I have my golfing friends, for example. We link up, we chat. I also have friends who we come from the same area. And over time, the friends that I've made, loyal friends. You need that.
Loyal friends, I like that.
Yeah, loyal friends. Because once you leave employment, and most of the time you'll find out that the people you were with in employment, they are gone. You know, and that link is cut. You are there because of the...
It's the position, it's because of what you can do for them.
Exactly. So you need genuine friends. You need a network of good network of genuine friends, people you can rely on, people you can call in the evening, can we have coffee? And they will have time for you. Because one thing you also realize, the moment you leave that position, people will stop calling you. And you have seen a number of retirees who are complaining, my phone doesn't ring and all that. You know, I made peace with that, and I thank God that I was able to do that, because I knew that certain people were calling me because of my position. And that the moment I will go out of this seat, those calls will no longer, because you are no longer valuable to them.
And it actually happens.
Yeah, it happens. And you need to understand that. Why would they be calling you anyway? So you need to make a network of friends outside your work. Because those are the people who will be there after you retire. Most often, and Kevin referred to it, most often we are married to our jobs. You go there at 7, 8 in the morning, and you're so dedicated, you work until 9. I mean, there are times, actually, I worked until 5 in the morning, you know, on accounting jobs, something is not reconciling, you have to finish up the accounts for audit purposes. So there are all those, so you don't have much time, but you need to remain conscious. That the life exists outside of work. Yes.
Wow, fantastic. What a great tip. Kevin, as you get, you know, as we age, the cost of health also goes up. Okay? And you're getting into retirement. And you find like insurance is, in fact, I have a friend of mine was talking to me, he's elderly, and he was like, you know, we're talking about retirement plan. It was like, you know, health cost is too high, especially for us retirees. How would they, what are some of the ways, easier ways for them to just save for their health, their families, you know, and for themselves in terms of health?
Wow.
Based on the cost of treatment in this country.
Someone once said, don't use your health making for money and then later use that money you made using your health to maintain the health again. It is like you're going in circles. So what, like Mr. Abel mentioned, he said, don't be too outgoing. Where you're married into the work and you're not living a balanced life. Someone eating just anything. You see, it begins with now even your diet. How is your diet? What are the exercises you're doing? Then now come to the health appetite of your finances. At that time when your money is now coming to, is it money or money?
Money.
Money. So at the time when now your money begins now to define your health, you need then to now begin to secure and procure the health of now yourself, your family, take health insurance, take medical insurance for that matter, so that now that's not all that it is. For that case, now begin also to secure their future. Yeah. By beginning, it's also defining health, by the way, because in many instances, scientists or maybe psychologists will tell you the reason as to why certain diseases are coming upon people at certain ages is because there is stress. And that stress was born out of the state of lack of planning financially. So you need to use this money so that at some point, when you are making money to work for you in the future, you will not work for money, because as age is catching up, the energy you will realize the energy is going slow. So then you will not be using the same strength to make the money you used to make. Yet you have a lifestyle you needed to live. So you find people now are living under their means, so they are struggling and cursing their children here and there. Yo, I educated you. You are no longer sending help.
Actually, it also feels like a bother to these children.
Exactly. You know? And you feel it is your right for them now to help you. And then sometimes you find a child asking, Mom, did I send an application that you could give back to me, Dad? You see? So while it is day, like I mentioned some time back, I said make hay while the sun shines. So use this money to build a healthy lifestyle. Make it your healthy hub by ensuring you'd use some money, invest into the future, use some money to invest into the health sector, use some money, go even for the gym. Use that money to build a good health appetite. So at that particular instance, you'll find now you will live a stress-free life, and there are diseases that will never catch up with you at that particular time.
And of course, that one we've had Abel talking about him golfing and doing all that, you know, good stuff. And as we head towards the end of the show, we are just about to, let me just, there's a question here. And the question is, hi, which has higher returns between saving in an individual retirement savings circle or in money market funds? Thanks. Jason. Any one of you can answer that.
Okay, the difference between individual saving in a circle and
saving in a money market fund.
In a money market fund.
Yes.
I believe that you'll get probably better returns in a money market fund. Okay, because SACCOs, the purpose for SACCOs is really not to give you superior returns, but SACCOs are for lending money. So you put money together and then you lend out to members. So return is not their utmost objective. But when you go into a unit trust, they are trying to make you money. So if they make good money and ordinarily their costs shouldn't be that high. So the rest of the money they credit to your account. So I want to believe that returns for a unit trust, if you choose a good one, should be better than what you get in SACCO. But SACCO has a different purpose altogether, because you'll also be able to borrow money from your SACCO at a lower rate than what you can get at the bank.
And probably just in closing, because we're closing, your final remarks as I give Kevin also the last opportunity to just give us his final remarks.
My final remarks is that saving for retirement is very important. If you want to enjoy your retirement, make sure that you've saved appropriately. And as a guide, they always say that you want 70%, you want at least to be earning 70% of your last salary in your retirement. That is there for you to be able to sustain your lifestyle.
Fantastic. So at least 70%. Kevin?
Awesome. It was a great time. I would advise our viewers that ensure that your appetite for investment is the highest than your spending appetite. And ensure then your diversification is well structured with discipline, so that out of what you earn, you will always find it in the future, waiting for you having multiplied itself. Thank you.
Need I say more? Thank you so much, gentlemen, for the amazing insights, words full of wisdom to our listeners and viewers from, all over the country and even abroad. Thank you so much for joining us today on this particular show, Money Matters. And it is very important to remember that financial literacy is the bridge from misery to hope. I think with those insights, you'll be able to plan well for retirement and, live a better life and secure your future. And now a special thanks goes to our partners. We can't forget to mention our partners this morning who've enabled us to be on air today. We just want to appreciate you, to thank you so much for holding our hands, for walking with us through this journey and ensuring that we've been on air, and so we want to thank you. And as well, if you want to be part of this community that is a blessing to many people, that helps us to reach many people and keep Jesus on the airwaves, you can do that by sending whatever you have on our paybill number 316 and the account name will be your number, your phone number. And also, if you want to just be a partner, send the word partner to our SMS number 20316, our WhatsApp number 0786 316 316. And I shall be seeing you tomorrow on Family Matters Relationship Clinic. We shall be discussing about long-distance relationships. So don't miss that out. Have a blessed day from us here from Family TV and Family Radio. My name is Sally Limo. God bless.